So the other day, I was asked by a teammate in my gym to cover one of his classes. I said yes, and today's video is about how I put the session together and how I personally implement the ecological approach for jiu-jitsu. A quick caveat for you, I'm a purple belt hobbyist with 8 years of training under my belt. I know I suck, I'm just telling you what I did, and if you like the ideas, you're welcome to steal them. Now, I hate to sound like a hipster, but I've been using the ecological games-based approach as a coach for years, and I liked it before it was cool. To sum up why I like it, I would use the following analogy. If you want to learn how to swim, you do that by getting in the water. You don't sit on the side reading a book about the mechanics of swimming and practicing the arm and leg action on dry land. Just because the two things look the same doesn't mean you're learning. Learning comes from context, feel, timing, and the feedback of success and failure. The games are there for people to get a lot of reps in figuring out how to implement and adapt those strategies for their skill set, their body type, and their particular game. A secondary advantage of this approach is that when you keep your mouth shut, people are a lot more active and you get a much stronger stimulus for conditioning. We began the session with a 10-minute warm-up of different wrestling games for two reasons. One, matches start on the feet, and we need that exposure to be more comfortable in competition. Two, the principles of successful takedowns are basically the same as sweeping from guard. Namely, one, get inside position with at least some parts of your body. Two, create and maintain a strong connection to your opponent. Three, try to raise their center of mass to make them less stable. Four, if you can, try and narrow their base of support, again, to make them more unstable. And then five, off-balance them by pushing that center of mass outside the base of support so that they fall over. We began with Kapsagat, which is a Central Asian variation of wrestling, where you win the match by getting any part of your opponent's body other than their feet to touch the mat. The next round was a Greco-style round where we scored points by achieving double underhooks or some variation of body lock against our opponent. The final standing round, we added in entries to the legs on top. If you could lift one of your opponent's legs off of the mat or get a body lock under their butt cheeks, you win. In none of these rounds were we trying to finish takedowns. I think that's a little bit intense for a warm-up, but you're of course welcome to add that in. From there, we went to the floor. From this point onward, all rounds were 5 minutes long, and the goal of the guard player was to sweep or submit the passer. And obviously the goal of the passer was to advance to a scoring position or submit. Anytime one of those two things happen, they switch roles, passer and guard player. For higher belts, they start with a looser connection to their opponent to give the other guy a little bit more chance, and lower belts get to start with more connection again to give them more chance. We had about 1 minute in between rounds, and that's pretty much the only time that I opened my mouth after the warm-up. Round one, we went with butterfly guard. Round two, half guard. Round three, single leg X. Round four, reverse de la Riva. Then we finished up the session with 4 rounds of regular sparring.